Living greener sustainably is about more than saving on your electric bill and doing your part to protect natural resources. It is about a safer and healthier life for you and your family without sacrificing style, quality, or budget. This is a movement to provide all of us with clean air to breathe and water to drink, safe, healthy food to eat, and places to live, and energy to run the places where we live, learn, play, and work. The Green Gap podcast helps you get the value of green for you, your family, and your community. Whether it's green homes, green living, or the people who make it happen, join me, Marla Esser-Close, to learn how green and sustainability practices and products work for our world and you. This is Marla, the Green Home Coach, and today we want to talk about taking care of your home. That sounds so fun, doesn't it? But think about this. If you take care of your home so it'll take care of you, then you don't have to take care of it as much. Okay, kind of a roundabout riddle, but all that stuff that we do to maintain it, keep it up, really does pay us back, because then we don't have the big calamities and the big repairs and all the big stuff that comes out. So, what was it they say? That an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and it definitely is that way with your home. So, when you start thinking about maintenance, it's kind of overwhelming because the average home has about 75 different components in it that we need to track maintenance and warranty information for. Now, fortunately, we don't have to do a lot to take care of all that. Like your wood floors usually don't need a lot of maintenance except to be kept clean. But you do need to know how to do that properly so you don't damage the finish. And you also may want to have access to the warranty information should something need to be corrected with it. Maybe there's a dent or a ding and you need to have that looked at. So having that information is super, super helpful in a home, be it new, be it a newly purchased home, be it an existing home, or one you've just remodeled or redecorated. All those new components we bring into the home, we have to know how to take care of them. And herein lies the challenge, because as you take care of your home, you have an exquisite opportunity to up-level it. So every time you maintain, repair, or replace anything in your home, you have an opportunity to make a better decision, a decision that is easier to take care of and less maintenance and more durable. Or maybe it's more energy or water efficient. Maybe it's better chemically. It doesn't have as many pollutants in it. So take a moment whenever you are doing your routine maintenance and repairs and replace to think about what you use to repair, maintain, and replace. So you do need user manuals, right? I know that sounds so fun. Not. But having a handy-dandy user manual can make that maintenance so easy, so much quicker. You didn't keep that paper manual. It came in the box. That's okay. Almost all of them can be found online now on the manufacturer's websites. They're pretty easy to find. A lot of websites for manufacturers have model pages with all of the information that you may need for the specific model or type of equipment or flooring or whatever other component in your home you may need more information and more help on. Go check it out online. There's also some handy-dandy tools that I can tell you about to help make this a little bit easier. So number one, in my book, Living Green Effortlessly, Simple Choices for a Better Home, we've got a whole chapter on maintenance. As a matter of fact, a lot of this chapter was taken from our home inventory and maintenance tool, HomeNav. So you have an opportunity in my book to have all that information right there in book format. And we have a really pretty cool checklist in there that I'm excited about. We partnered with another organization to bring this to you, but it has a really neat way of segmenting your maintenance work. So if you just have a little bit of time, you can inspect. If you have a little bit more time, you can maintain. If you have a lot more time, you can do a weekend warrior project and overhaul something or upgrade it. So kind of a different way to look at your maintenance projects. And it's seasonal. So that really helps too, because I look at things by season. And in addition to that, you might want to go to greenhomecoach.com and download the 10 ways to make your home healthier, more efficient, and durable. And there's some great tips in here to help you maintain and upgrade your home as you go. So listen on. The podcast coming up next has a lot more tips about how to live greener and maintain your home in a way that allows you to have that easier lifestyle that you've been dreaming of in your home. So let your home take care of you. Listen to the podcast, running your home so it doesn't run you, and you'll get a lot more ideas. Have a great day. It's the Green Gap Podcast with Marla Esser-Close, the Green Home Coach. And good morning, afternoon, whatever time of day it is, Tony.
How you doing, Marla? It's Tony Pratt with the Sound Room.
Hey, it's a good day when we're here, right?
It's always a good day to podcast.
Hey, podcasting is our thing. We don't get to do it enough, though, with this new format that we're block recording now.
Yeah, I know. It's the downside of it, but, what are you going to do? We both live in different markets.
Different cities.
We both have busy lives, and it's just easier sometimes to come in, do a bunch of recordings, and release them on target, every few weeks.
I gotcha. It's a matter of training us. Ha, ha, ha. Because today we're going to talk about homeowner and building owner training.
Very nice.
But before I go there, I want to give a shout out. Before we come into Shock City Studios to record, so that's my first shout out to Sam and all the team here at Shock City Studios, because they do a great job here in St. Louis, and we love coming in. Thank you for everything you do for us. But I also want to give a shout out to the Egg.
Oh, yes.
Where we eat. We always have a little prep and planning session before we record, and we go, it's in the same building. It's a small little restaurant that does breakfast and lunch, and we've just been delighted with them.
It is so delicious, too. If you're ever down in this area in St. Louis, 2200 Graveway, the Egg. It's wonderful.
And that was
breakfast
an unsolicited plug. We just really like this place, so we want to share it for any of you that are in St. Louis.
Any day we record, seriously, we eat there. We've pretty much had everything on the menu. But it's so convenient,
so we've been trained.
It's all about developing proper habits.
There you go. Well, and man, habits and training. You couldn't have done a better segue if I'd paid. Oh, wait.
Yeah, I don't get paid for this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, as one of our continuing educations about all the different components and parts of a green home and what goes into it, there's this last area or first area in my mind about homeowner and building owner training, documentation, and resources. And while this sounds a little dry, folks, this is a big deal because when you get a new car, first place you go is your owner's manual.
Oh, absolutely.
How many times have you gotten an owner's manual with your home or your apartment or your condo?
It's becoming a little bit more prevalent, but still not that much, especially if you're buying an existing home.
Yeah.
If you're buying a brand new home built the last maybe year or two, I think you might get something depending on the builder.
But they're pretty rudimentary.
Yes.
Mine, when we got our new house, it was helpful. I've looked at it a few times, but it's not nearly as filled out and fleshed out as it could be.
Right. And think about it, too. These houses are getting smarter.
Oh, yeah.
They're getting more complicated to run. It's no longer something you can just breeze through and do really fast. But the trick is, if you don't operate the house properly, you're not going to get the benefits out of all the new technology that's put into the house.
Well, or the house itself.
Yes.
Okay, I know a lot of gentlemen I know aren't real prone to reading directions all the time, but us ladies typically are a little bit more in tune with that. Just difference between the way we are all wired, right? But you get an awful lot of information when you are moving into a home, be it an existing home or a new home. You're overwhelmed with how much information there is, and you don't start realizing what you need to know. You just don't know what you don't know. So as you start living in the house and experiencing what life is like in the house, now you're home, you start figuring out, oh, how do I do that? Oh, what about this? Oh, I need that. That's when having that education and that training and hopefully some sort of a guide to reflect back on and to find things really comes into play. See, we've been in our home since end of September, so October, November, December, January, February. So 5 months. I know I had to count that. That's pretty sad today. 5 months. And we still have one more warranty, our 1-year warranty coming up. So we kind of keep a running list. But we're still bumping into things pretty regularly that we're having to fine tune or figure out.
But that's kind of expected.
It is expected.
That's why most builders will do the 1 month walk.
And they do a walkthrough.
The 1 year walkthrough just to get that list of what needs to be fine tuned a little bit. It's interesting because I read an article this weekend, like you talked about, kind of acquiring all that information and making that list of what's not right. Well, there was an interesting article in USA Today over the weekend about smart homes.
Uh-oh, up your alley.
Exactly. Especially if you're buying a pre-existing home. You might have had a homeowner that sits there and likes to tinker. Or even if you're buying a high-performance home or a home that has advanced automation in it. There's some new things you have to worry about. I mean, this article was hysterical because the homeowner thought there was an issue with their thermostat.
I see this one coming.
Every time,
as a nest owner.
every time she would go to set the thermostat at 70 degrees, it would reset itself to 80 degrees. Come to find out it was a pre-existing home, and the old homeowner in his house kept trying to set the thermostat on his phone, not realizing that the thermostat was tied to his old house.
So he must have had a direct connection because my Nest was tied in through the Wi-Fi network. So when I shut down my Wi-Fi network, it shut down that link.
That's a Nest.
Yeah, but I guess with the Wi-Fi
Every
enabled
other one that I deal with on my phone,
I've got direct.
I've got 5 different display homes on my phone that I can log right into their house and change whatever I want. It has nothing to do with being on the network because it ties to the controller. The controller is what it's that added layer of security. But now all of a sudden, if you don't realize that, you're controlling the wrong house.
So now, in addition to learning how to operate, okay, folks, don't get wigged out because this is a good problem to have because we have these wonderful apps and technology to help us. When we can't do it with our behavior, the apps will help us do it automatically. So that I love. But it is one more thing we're going to have to remember when you're transferring a house to a new owner.
Absolutely.
And I know when I sold my condo here in St. Louis, I actually invited the new owner. I'm kind of like going above and beyond the 2 realtors just talking to each other. I'm like, I want to talk to her. And I extended an invitation through a realtor. And she responded. And I said, I'd like to invite you to come out to the house at their condo and let me walk you through and show you where everything is and how everything functions.
That's a good idea.
When I bought that place, nobody did that for me. And it took me months to figure out things. And I was discovering things for ages. You know, I found extra flooring. I found the light bulbs. I found the past guy that had serviced the heating and air conditioning. I had to figure out on my own how the sump pumps worked and just all of this. So I thought, okay, if there's one thing I can do, I'm in the business too. So, hey, you know, I should serve at a higher level. So I invited her over and we walked through the house for about an hour. I showed her how everything functioned. I don't know how much she retained, but I said, you know, here's my phone number. If you have any questions, just call. I can tell you, you know, what's going on.
Yep. We do a lot of that with builders we work with, especially if it's a spec home or a market home. We'll wire it, and then when they sell it, we'll walk the house with the homeowner so they know what technologies are in the house, where everything is.
And we do that with HomeNav as well.
And we'll also get real estate agents that will call us to meet their client out to a house because they just bought it and they notice there's technology in the house, but they don't even know where to start.
What it is, yeah.
And it could be something as somebody had a home theater and you see all the wires and there's some pieces there, but not enough to make it work. How do you get it up and running? So you find an expert like us to go do that.
Yikes. Well, hey, you know, there's a lot of different ways to tackle these things. And as we dive into our next segment, we're really going to talk about the kinds of things you want to make sure you get trained on in your home, or if you are the builder or the remodeler or somebody delivering the home, what you should do. And then we also want to talk about how that ties into your maintenance and operations, and talk about other resources that might be available to help you as you are learning how to operate your house. Because once you've got this structure, it can be as great as everything in the world, but if you don't keep it great and know how to operate it great, you're kind of at a loss. So that's really what we want to help y'all figure out today. We've got some further topics to dig in a little bit more, but let's take a quick break and a real breather here for a moment, and we'll be back. Welcome. Come in. I'd like to talk with you about green homes and why they are the very best homes of all. When you decide you want one, we'll talk about how easy it is to green your own home. And if you should win the lottery and get to choose your own dream green home, we can talk about that too. It's all in here. Are you ready to become a green home expert? Good. come on in. Hi, I'm Marla Close, and I'm the author of Living Green Effortlessly, Simple Choices for a Better Home. You just heard the opening paragraph of my book, and I'm so excited to share this with you. I want to read you a little bit more of the introduction, and then I'll tell you how to get your own copy of Living Green Effortlessly for you to use in your own home. So come on in. The first home was a cave. Not the most comfortable accommodation, but caves have some definite green attributes. The temperature stays at a pretty constant level despite the weather outside. Location mattered. The sun shining on and into the opening could warm it by day, and a fire could carry on through the night. Caves provide protection from the elements and from danger in the neighborhood. But humans being human, the search for a more comfortable home was on. They built with grass or wood or stone, and some built teepees or yurts, which had the added bonus of being transportable. But no matter what style the home or the material used to build it, the needs of the homeowners were pretty much the same: comfort and safety, balanced by convenience and cost. Not much has changed. Well, the McMansions of the 20th century are something that cave women couldn't begin to dream of. But they are one more expression of the eternal search for a better home. In the 21st century, we see that bigger may not always be better. Our need for comfort and safety can be overwhelmed by costs, economic, physical, and social. Anyone with a castle will tell you that the heating bills will break the bank, and you're never really warm anyway. There is a better way to live like royalty in your own home. Want to hear more? Check my book out on livinggreenbook.com, where you can order it on a multiple of platforms, including Kindle. Thank you. Gavin, about home training, or I'm trying to think of a better way to put this. How about learning your home, training from your home?
It's homeowner operation.
I know, but
training.
That's boring. We got to come up with a better name.
But it is what it is.
Okay, well, all you folks out there listening, we're going to talk to you about how to run your home, how to get trained on it.
How to drive the house.
Oh, there you go. Driving your home.
Driving your home. There you go.
We got a title, Driving Your Home. Woohoo. So, we've talked about all these reasons you need to drive your home, why it's such a big deal. And I will say with a green home, it's important in any home, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But with a green home,
especially
and a green certified home, it's required. Well, basics parts are required, and it depends which version, how new the version of the certification program is you're using. But in some versions, it is required to have that training.
Well, it should be, too, because there's so much that goes into building a green home, a certified home. If the homeowner doesn't know how to use it, it's like giving them a brand new Ferrari, throwing them the keys and saying, good luck.
Yeah. Bye.
That's just not how it works. You have to know exactly how to work the house to get the biggest benefits out of it.
Well, it's true for anything.
You will not hear me arguing this
I know,
point.
But we do take it for granted with our homes that we're just going to pop in there and figure it out.
Right.
And what we're suggesting is don't just figure it out. There's tons of resources available.
What worked 40 years ago doesn't work today.
Well, I don't know that it even worked 40 years ago.
I think it did.
Maybe.
That was handy.
No, in our house, I had a house in, I bought my first house when I was in my 20s, and that was a while ago, several decades ago. And there was
I wasn't going to say anything.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm a senior citizen, so just a fun senior citizen. What can I say? Any rate.
Continue.
I had so many things in that home that I had to figure out on my own.
Right.
And it was an older home. It was a 1930s era home. And a lot of things have been updated, but some things were still creaky and tweaky from the 30s. So it's, I think, true for any home. And that training is a way for you to better understand it. It's just like training for anything else and better understanding what's going on in your body or an exercise program or your nutrition or your vehicle, all of that. Training allows us to do things in the way it was intended and get full effect and full benefit.
And the newer homes we're seeing, for the most part, a lot of them do have some manual, even if it's rudimentary.
Yeah, it's basic, but there's something.
But still, that's only a small percentage of the housing stock out there that sells.
Well, I tried with HomeNav to get realtors interested in it, and it just wasn't the time.
Right.
But it might be now.
But if you're looking at a pre-existing house, what do you do?
Yeah.
Isn't that the next question? How do you ask for this?
It's easy to do.
How do you accumulate it?
So here's the kinds of things that you want to make sure that you're being trained on if you're the person living in the home, or the things that you're training on if you're the builder. The realtor really should be able to help do it, but somebody needs to train the person coming into that home or that building. Heating and cooling filters, number one. And there's nothing you can do more important to maintain a good indoor air quality in your home or building.
And that's got to be one of the easiest.
Not really. Like
Changing a filter?
Our new house, they're in the ceiling.
Really?
Because they run their ductwork through the attic.
But you're in a goofy market.
I know, I'm in a goofy market. So that's one. The one you were talking about earlier, thermostat.
Mm-hmm.
Not only how to operate it, but how to program it.
How to program it, how to change the batteries.
Yeah.
The simple maintenance
or
of
just
it.
cheat and get it, like a Nest or one of the other learning thermostats. But even so, you still have to figure out how to get it set up.
Yes.
So somebody needs to show you how to do that. Lighting controls. Okay, not such a big deal when we have the rocker switches, but this is right up your alley.
But now you have homes, and this is really going to be prevalent, I think, in the next 5 years. You have homes that have controlled lighting scenes, whether you're controlling it off an app, it's something simple and it's all based in the cloud, or the house has a smart home processor somewhere in it and everything is tied together. Everybody uses the term control.
Well, heck, you can buy a light bulb that you can control with an app now.
So there's a difference.
Yeah.
Control is just simple, turn it on, turn it off on your phone. Automation means that light bulb, that light switch talks to other types of devices.
And you can schedule it, right?
You can schedule it. You can create scenes. You can do the if-then statements.
Right.
If this happens, then that happens. But these are all things people need to learn how to use, because if you don't, then you're just going to walk up to it and turn it on, turn it off, and you're not going to gain any of the benefits for it.
So back to that article you found, now that there's enough things in our homes that we can retrofit or put in new that are app controlled, make sure if there's apps running that house that they're part of the training as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow, wouldn't it be really nice if you helped the new owner get the apps on their phone or on their iPad or their tablet or whatever?
Well, and typically that's what we do. So we have a builder here in St. Louis that does have a smart controller in every house, and they'll have a couple options that come with the house. So the minute they move in, they set up their utilities. We're out there showing them how to program their phone, showing them how to turn things on, how to set things up, and teaching them the right way to use it. It's just part of the process.
So if you keep going, fan controls in the similar vein to lights.
Absolutely.
And teach people about putting them in reverse for winter. Like we run ours in reverse because our air is delivered from the ceiling. Mm-hmm. So we need to run that fan backwards to push the air down the walls into the room. Otherwise, it all stays at the top in the ceiling. So that's what running your fan backwards in the winter does. It pushes that hot air, and hot air rises anyway.
Yes, it does.
So it pushes that hot air back into the room. And we just run ours on the lowest speed so we don't feel the draft.
Okay,
it just moves the air down.
It's a very good idea.
Anyway, so there's my tip of the day. But understanding how to put the fan in reverse, how to put it back and forward, how to adopt the speed, if there's a remote, if there's an app, because now we're seeing a lot of app-controlled fans too.
Yeah, there are a lot of app-controlled fans, but what we're finding is the ones that the builder provides, usually there's some type of a little issue.
Yeah.
They don't talk because the builder's never had to think about this yet.
As a system.
And
that's where you guys come in, but we'll talk more about that later.
Yeah, that's another podcast.
Water heater. That's another one you want to be trained on. Not only how to access it, should you need to drain it, which you should do once a year. Most of us don't do it. How to control the settings. And if there's a vacation setting on it, how to operate that. And if it's not an electronic ignition or an electric heater, how to relight the pilot. But some basics like that.
Once again, a lot of hot water heaters, they're app controllable now.
Yeah.
They're tied to the Wi-Fi.
I don't have one yet, but I need to get in and turn my water down, my water heat, the temperature down, because it's too high. But it took us a while to figure that out.
Right.
So now that we've kind of figured it out, we can play with it.
Probably because you're guessing and nobody showed you how to
And they did
Here's the manual.
They showed us the basics when we moved in. But man, I mean, you're getting so much in 2 hours.
Yeah, you get bombarded.
So the last thing that is required in the certification practices for training is recycling practices. So what recycling is available in the home, in the neighborhood, when recycling pickup is. So just a way to encourage.
Encourage.
I won't enforce today, but encourage people to recycle and for them to know what resources are around to help them do that.
Right.
So those are the required things. But if you think about it, what are some other things that would be really helpful to be trained on?
Well, any system that goes in that house, you really need to know. You know, we share similar clients and we work on some of these very advanced high performance homes. In a situation like that, we're teaching them on how to use all the electronics in the house.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got appliances nowadays that you can tie to the house remotely and make them communicate with other devices in the house. You have your audio video systems, your security systems. You have your, we like to call environmental control. That's your lights, your thermostats, your locks. Basically anything that goes in that house now, you almost need to be instructed on things outside of the basics. We
have more than basics now.
Absolutely.
But here's the deal, too, is that I had the opportunity to really spend some time with InSinkErator, who makes the leading maker of garbage disposers. And when we were at the Builders Show in January, well, they were showing us how to properly maintain your garbage disposer. Sorry, I have to get the word right. Duh. I'm like, oh, wow, I've been running a garbage disposer all my life, and they taught me new things. So even the mundane things, like they were teaching me the way to clean your garbage disposer is fill it full of ice and run it for a minute.
Oh, interesting.
And you can put like a slice of lemon in there to refresh it. But if you go to InSinkErator site, they have all these tips for you. I'm like, I didn't know that. So even the mundane is something that we can help people operate it better so that it's a better living environment for them.
Think of refrigerators.
Oh my gosh, it's changed so much.
GE and Whirlpool. I'm going to use these two examples because I know they're building them now with the software to integrate with Alexa.
Yeah.
All right. So now they can tell you when you're low on something, but you need to know how to operate it
how to
set it up so it would work. And if somebody's not teaching you, then that's a feature that has no benefit to anybody because I don't know how to use it.
I know. So let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about how to get this training. Do you know the 5 myths of green homes? These 5 things you probably believe about green homes may be costing you thousands of dollars. Which myth do you hear the most? I'm Marla Close, the Green Home Coach, and I want you to have 5 myths of green homes so you can learn how this knowledge can help you get more business and set yourself apart. If you're ready to learn even more about green homes and features, check out my What Makes a Green Home Green audio program. This program will help you find and sell the value of green homes and features in your clients' homes and projects. Check it out at greenhomecoach.com and click on the link for 5 myths of green homes. Again, that's greenhomecoach.com and click on 5 myths of green homes. Okay, well, we're back talking about driving your home.
I like that.
I think it works. How to drive your home.
Driving means operating.
It just makes me think of Driving Miss Daisy. I was watching that movie last week.
A driver's license is an operator's license.
Well, there you go. Okay, see? Fair enough. So we talked about all these things that you need to know how to function with them, how to set them up, how to operate them, how to program them. But there's a lot of different options that could be used for actually getting that information from the person that has it to the person that needs it, the actual training itself. Obviously, one way is for the builder, the realtor, the owner to physically walk through with the person needing to be trained.
Right.
And that's what a lot of the people I do actually do.
And then the homeowner can sit there and make their notes as they go.
And for my clients that use HomeNav, and we set up HomeNavs for them, several of them take the homeowner through the house with HomeNav.
Okay.
So they'll have a tablet with HomeNav up on it, And as they're walking through the house, they show them where the stuff is in HomeNav. So for you guys that are listening in and don't know what HomeNav is one of our offerings at the Green Home Coach. And I apologize for the shameless plug, but it actually helps out a lot here. So that's why I wanted to bring it up. It's an online software tool. It's actually available for free if you want to fill your own in. But for our builder clients and developer clients, we fill it in. We customize it with an inventory of all this stuff in the home, all the appliances, the systems, the components, the fixtures, the finishes. And then we also can upload little videos for the specific training components that are needed. We can upload the plans. We can upload any custom documents that the builder or the developer or the community may have. We can upload custom links. But at any rate, so that gives us this repository of information to use to train the homeowner or the building owner. And it doesn't go away because they get the account. They can come back and reference it. So I do have one client up in New York that we've done these little videos. They've done some really cool video doorbells and some really cool light and fan controls. And we just took these little 20-second videos. And now they can show those videos to their clients, their buyers, to show them how to operate things.
So it's really a virtual manual.
It is. It is a virtual manual. But that's another option. Or I have some clients that put together a physical book and then use that to train it. But the key here is if you can figure out a way to not just train somebody, but give them something to come back to, because I know my brain, I need the reminder.
I think that's important too, because in today's homes, there's just so much. You are not going to remember everything by walking through the house for an hour or even 2 hours and being told this does this, this does this, this does this. Well, great, you've got your notepad. Well, what's going to happen? You got to move.
Right.
You got to move all your stuff in. You've lost your notepad. Now you don't know where it is. I still don't know how to make things work. It's a Sunday. How do I change this? How do I do that? There's nobody available. So it's easier to have the manual to go to.
And if you didn't, for instance, want to use something like HomeNav, you wanted to just do it on your own, and you don't get all of our expertise, but that's, at least we can help you get the basics. You could even take your own little videos or photographs and store them in a Dropbox so you could access it from your smartphone or your computer either way. I mean, the thing that's nice for me to have it on my smartphone or a tablet is that I can walk around the house with it. It's a little more cumbersome to walk around the house with my laptop. So that's nice because I can go to where the thing is that I need to understand how to operate or how to program it or what to do with it, just as a logistical element. And honestly, nowadays it's getting to the point where it's easier to access things on your phone or your tablet than even a hard copy notebook. I've got my binder from my builder that has the things in it, and I've referred to it a couple of times, but half the time I'm just going online and searching for stuff.
Right.
And that's just as quick. The other thing that we do with HomeNav that's kind of a nice shortcut, and it's one of the things I was very adamant about when we were building HomeNav, is that we put direct links into the model page for any of the components and systems in your home. Mm-hmm. And that model page almost always has the operator's manual, the warranty, or it tells you how to find the warranty, and information, the specs, the specifications of the actual product. So that's just a nice place. And if you're not using HomeNav, go find the model page for whatever it is you have questions about. Now, heads up, if it's an older model, you're going to have to search a little bit. And companies change their pages, so you may have to look a little harder. There's actually a website out there for discontinued models where you can find this information for things that are several years old and maybe aren't still in the common flow of commerce right now. The internet's made all this stuff available to us so easy, and with smartphones, we can capture that information so easy.
Oh, yeah.
So use
Google
that.
search on the phone.
Yeah, so use that. And use that as a tool to help train your buyers, your clients. Even a realtor or a homeowner can shoot a couple of little videos. Heck, my mom and dad, they're using videos on their phones all the time. And it's just so easy now that anybody can do it. So do it, but put it in a place where you can find it. That's what's most important. So put it in a Dropbox or put it in a folder, but put it someplace that's going to be meaningful to you, because if you keep it on your phone mixed in with the other 3,428 pictures and videos, you're going to have a hard time finding it.
Absolutely.
Spoken from experience.
Well, yeah. You mean the phone's not for watching cat videos anymore?
No, it's not, is it?
Well, even if you're the builder, you're the real estate agent, or you're the homeowner selling it, if you have all that organized and you can give it to your client to say, here's all the operational videos you need for the house,
That wraps this episode of the Green Gab
another level of
Podcast.
customer service.
Ready to use what you've learned?
All of your competitors.
Get the show notes with all the resources mentioned in this
And you
episode,
may
plus
like the
9
neighborhood
simple,
that I was in
straightforward,
in
low
St.
to
Louis
no cost
before I
ways
moved.
to
It was
improve
just
the
a
health of
great
your home
neighborhood.
and
There was
world.
tons of
Today
stuff
at
within walking distance. We had community
everydaygreenhome.com.
gardens, and
Be sure to
when
subscribe now on
the
iTunes,
people that bought my
Stitcher,
home,
or your favorite
my
podcast
condo
app,
bought it.
so you
I
never
made
miss an
sure
episode.
I put all that.
Thanks for
in.
listening,
As a matter of fact, I had it in listing
being
so
green
that
is easier and more
people would know
affordable
all
than
of that
you
was
think.
available. And we had a community pool and tennis courts and a park and a lot of walking trails and biking trails. But that's the same kind of information that goes above and beyond what's required for training. However, again, back to your comment, whoa, what great customer service.
Yeah.
And if you're a builder or a developer wanting to sell more homes in your area,
That's how you do it.
well, guess who your best referrals are?
People that have already bought.
Yep. And if they love what you've offered them and you, oh my gosh, you won't believe what my builder gave to me. They showed me how to do all of this and they gave me this whole list of places I can go in the neighborhood and da-da-da-da-da-da. And yeah, they're going to tell everybody.
Yeah.
So that's a great customer service tool as well. It's a great marketing tool for people to remember that doing something that goes a little bit above and beyond, you know, if you're building a green certified home, it may be required. However, why not turn that requirement into a marketing asset?
Oh, you know what? And that's a great way to do it. I remember, speaking of marketing, and this is how you always have to look at opportunities.
Yep.
Remember a few years ago, we had a shortage of carpenters and we had a lot of foundations just sitting for like 3-4 weeks at a time. Well, typically production builders, they pour the foundation, it sits a week and you start framing on it.
Right.
One production builder kept telling their homeowners that, oh yeah, we allow our foundations to cure for 30 days.
That's brilliant.
Instant credibility.
Brilliant.
So that's how you spin problems into opportunities.
Brilliant. Brilliant. So yes, training needed. Everyone knows they need it, but they don't always get it. So you provide it. Even if it's a one-on-one transaction between homeowner and homeowner, the ability to transfer that information is definitely needed, appreciated, and it is going to put you at a different level.
Well, especially if it's a one-on-one transaction. Think of it from your point of view. If you're selling the home, and if you were buying this house and all the stuff in it, wouldn't you like to know how it all works?
Yep.
And if you would like to know how,
you bought my house.
yeah, if you would like to know how it all works, chances are the person buying your house wants to know how it all works
Exactly.
too. So if you can make it easy for them, you're going to feel better about it. It's going to be a better experience for everybody.
And don't wait for your realtor to suggest it. If you want this, ask for it. And by the way, there's no reason you shouldn't want it because it'll make your life easier.
Absolutely.
So there you have it, driving your home. We hope we've elucidated a little bit of the topic. I think I said that word right.
I'm going to put the brakes on right there.
Yeah, well. But we appreciate you listening in today and continue to catch us on the Green Gab, whether it be on iTunes, the Green Home Coach website, or at greengabpodcast.com, or in our privately offered educational modules. Tony,
Marla,
have a great day.
you too.
See y'all soon.
That wraps up this episode of the Green Gab Podcast. Ready to use what you learned? Get the show notes with all the resources mentioned in this episode. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you never miss an episode. Thank you again for listening and for leaving a review. And remember that living a little greener is easier than you think.